Hello. In this video, I will try to make an argument about how I believe that modern therapy gaslights. To put it more precisely, I will try to explain some observations and hypotheses of mine regarding how I believe the most commonly used contemporary therapeutic frameworks such as CBT and DBT and ACT are fundamentally mirroring of dynamics of gaslighting commonly seen in abuse, parental abuse, and abuse between partners, all that. I try to talk about my theories and also about my personal experiences. This isn't a structured video essay because I came up with it on the spot. So sorry if there's not enough structure. What else? That's kind of it, I guess. Let's get started. And before you do begin talking about this, I guess let's put on some music. Maybe some Bach would be nice. Okay, just be prepared. Like it might get a bit loud. So I will play it in 3, 2, 1. Alright, I paused it. Let me adjust the volume. Okay, let me play it now. It still may be a bit loud, so be prepared. In 3, 2, 1. Okay, sounds good, I hope. The volume should be good. Okay, let's get started then. Gaslighting. First, let's clarify what I intend to convey when I say gaslighting. Distorting someone's sense of reality. That seems to be quite broad a definition for gaslighting. Is it distortion that is conscious or unconscious? If it is, well, let's assume that if someone consciously tries to, distort someone's sense of reality, then it constitutes gaslighting. I think that's fairly safe to say. But how about, say, if it's unconscious? Is it still gaslighting? Well, I believe yes. Intent doesn't always equate effect. And I believe that it should be the effect that is emphasized and not the intent. Say someone drives a car and accidentally runs someone over. Oh, they didn't mean to run over the pedestrian. So their intent isn't bad, but the effects obviously can result in death of the pedestrian or them being handicapped forever for the rest of their life, having to move on wheelchairs, not having wheelchair ramps in so many places, and everyone looking at them with that sympathetic but also pitiful look. I believe with that example I should have exemplified the point that I believe that intent doesn't always equate effect, and that, at least from the victim's or survivor's perspective, it ought to be effect that is examined and not the intent. That is also to say that I believe unconscious gaslighting is gaslighting too, even if someone doesn't mean to distort someone else's sense of reality. If the fact is that they indeed distorted someone's reality severely, I believe that is really consequential. And I believe it constitutes gaslighting and cannot be justified by any means, and isn't really defensible. You couldn't just say, oh, I didn't mean to hurt you, but then hurt someone so deeply. A bit of personal experience, I guess, just to clarify. I'm just gonna briefly talk about my trauma. I was gaslighted by my father a lot as a child. He would say constantly that his let me lower the volume a bit. Okay, should be good. He would so my father would constantly say that what he thinks is logical and rational. Now, to give you some idea about what he says, he doesn't think I should make friends with people from Africa or from India or people from parts of West Asia or North Africa, you know. He called Koreans the inferior nation for some reason. He doesn't think women should go into politics. He thinks, oh yeah, he actually said this like a lot, verbatim. He said, he said he thinks. Oh, no, he doesn't say he thinks. He says what he says, like, and says it as if it's absolute. Fucking, oh, sorry for swearing. He verbatim said so much that fucking women are biologically inferior in thinking than men, thereby justifying his misogynistic views. Though he doesn't claim those are misogynistic. To him, those are logical and rational. This might sound a bit detached from what I'm about to say next. It is logical and rational in a sense, if it is built on such logic and rationality where it is believed that some people are superior than some others. And if it is built on the logic that it is believed that some people need to be enslaved, and that not all people deserve to be treated with equal care and love. I believe that if it's regarded that there is such a framework he holds, then it is indeed true, his statement that he is logical and rational. I mean, my goodness, I mean, if someone is that rational and logical, they could go to the hell, seriously. Okay, where was that? Gaslighting, right? Saying what he says is logical and rational. Even though, yeah, technically, I believe what he says is logical and rational, but I believe it's definitely not empathetic. Obviously, I see narcissistic patterns on him. And also, it's really, he should have known better. But no, that's an understatement. I'm sorry, I'm trying to make like a witty and slightly ironic argument like Jane Austen would when she writes about Lizzie in Pride and Prejudice, but I couldn't really have the wit right now. It feels too heavy, you know? Humor doesn't really, well, for me at least, humor couldn't really survive something that heavy. And also more about his gaslighting. I was sexually, trigger warning, CSA, child sexual abuse. I was sexually abused as a child by him. I would prefer not to go into the details of what happened, but it's safe to say that both clinically and legally it constitutes the definition of child sexual abuse. And though when I finally made the observation, I mean, I was initially in such denial that it was sexual abuse. You know, like, it's hard for children to identify if they're being sexually abused. And then, especially difficult, because of the social assumptions, it's especially difficult for a male victim or survivor to, identify their experience of sexual abuse as sexual abuse. Yeah. I find that to be horribly wrong. This kind of societal assumptions about things and social coding of genders and sexualities. I just don't like stereotyping people and making people be who they are a whole lot. I just don't like that, where was that? Right. Oh, gaslighting. He also, when I first made the observation to my mother that it's child sexual abuse, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy for me to identify that as actually a child sexual abuse. When I first, however, took the courage to make the observation to my mother that it is indeed child sexual abuse, well, guess what she said? She said she doesn't think it would hurt me. She said, She said she doesn't think it would hurt me. She said she thinks I should try to understand my father because he went through a tough upbringing. Yes, it's true. He was physically abused as a child, sexually abused too, I am convinced. Also emotionally abused really a lot. At least he didn't pass on much of the physical abuse. I say much of because he claims all the time that how horrendous what he went through is, and he says how he's not gonna physically beat me, but then still, yeah, sometimes he doesn't really meet what he says, and he never apologized for that. Why would I think he would ever apologize for that? I was talking about... Alright. My mother said, my father has a tough upbringing, and therefore I should try to understand him. And then she also said, I should thank him for his financial support. She also said, that, my head is going blank, kind of, trying to think about what she said. It clearly does not help what she said. For obvious reasons. And also when I brought it out eventually to my father that what he does to me clinically and legally constitutes child sexual abuse. And I actually, just let me talk a bit about how I brought it out to him. I actually gave the generosity to say that he doesn't necessarily mean harm. He's actually well intended. I wasn't exactly convinced, but to hopefully not have him meet what I say so defensively, I tried to, to validate that there could be some humanity in him too. For Christ's sake, he is a human being. It's hard to think that when I think about what he did. But I try to remind myself that we all are human beings. All deserve empathy and love. Okay, fine. Disclaimer: if you are a survivor or a victim from those kind of abuse, parental or from partners or whatever, or from, it doesn't just have to be narcissistic abuse. It doesn't just have to be sexual abuse. So any kind of abuse, emotional neglect, enmeshment, all those, if it's by a teacher, if it's by institutions, whatever, therapists, doesn't matter. I mean, that if it is what it is. If it is abuse, it is abuse, and it's horribly wrong, and you don't deserve any of that. And I'm really sorry if you feel pressured to, empathize with the abuser or perpetrator after what I said. No, you don't have to. And I think if you feel like you kind of feel pressured to empathize with that, I think that must mean that people said horrible things to you. They should have known much better. I'm sorry they hurt you all those ways. Okay. But going back, just me personally, I try to empathize with people, even abusers. Not because I think their actions are forgivable or justifiable, but just simply because I try not to condescend myself to their level. There is humanity in me and empathy. Fine, there's also humanity in them and empathy, but just the way their humanity and empathy and just how they manifest sometimes really make me feel like it's hard to say that I see humanity in them. Okay, where was I? Yeah, there's humanity in them too. Intellectually, I know that's true. Just emotionally, on a visceral level, it's hard to believe that. But still, I would try to. I should like to try to love people and care for everyone. I should try to keep to my words. Yeah. Oh, also, I just realized I'm recording this on my webcam on my laptop. It's like the built-in webcam, so the resolution is gonna be. I imagine if you're watching this video, like the frame is gonna be small, like within the larger screen. It's just gonna be just dark edges all around, and then it's not gonna fit. Like the resolution for my webcam is 4:3. It's not 16:9. So and also, yeah, I know I could kind of zoom it in. I just haven't quite figured it out yet. I'm using OBS Studio, quite new to this. Yeah, but maybe eventually I would, if I get enough views, or if I feel like I could actually help people, or if I could feel like I feel witnessed and validated, well, maybe I would try to, I don't know, do something about this, upgrade either the software or hardware. Yeah, but probably not many people are actually gonna watch this. So okay, I was trying to talk about gaslighting, right? Yeah, gaslighting, conscious or unconscious, I believe, both constitute gaslighting. Oh wait, right, I forgot. Yeah, I meant to say, yeah, I tried telling my father that it's indeed child sexual abuse. I said, maybe he actually doesn't mean harm. Maybe he actually was well intended. Even though I wasn't convinced that's the case, I said it to him, and I said, I tried to be objective. I talked about how I'm scared of hugs and also other types of physical intimacy as a result of child sexual abuse, and how I really hate myself and want to die a lot, and talked about how I had these dreams that I can only take as having symbolic or associative meaning adjacent to child sexual abuse, and how I get scared when I hear footsteps approaching me, and how I really wanted to die. Anyway, I tried listing those objectively without having too much an emotional edge to it. I tried to be objective. I tried to explain to him intellectually that that's what he did caused harm, while trying not to make him feel like he has to feel emotionally responsible for that. I mean, I really tried to be generous. And guess what he said? He says, it harms me. What harms me? Me telling him that part about child sexual abuse. It harms me. Interesting in response. I know there are frameworks that can be used to explain his behavior. Darvo. Wait, actually, what does Darvo stand for once again? Sorry. Let me look it up. Darvo. Deny, attack, reverse victim, and offender. A manipulation tactic used by abusers to avoid accountability by denying their actions, attacking the accuser, and portraying themselves as the victim. I know there are frameworks for me to see that, but I just have not had some really pleasant experiences with frameworks, with therapeutic frameworks, with all the other kind of reductive frameworks either. I feel like labels really reduce a lot of nuances. Truly. It kind of flattens people. It makes them as if they're not people, but just say we say, oh, this person has autism. And then say, oh, autistic people understand one another. Yes, it's compassionate a point. That is, autistic people inherently can connect. That is, society doesn't have to misunderstand autistic people. In theory, we can build a better world where everyone feels equally validated and understood, even, those with neurodivergence. Well, it's well intended when the point is made that autistic people understand one another. However, if you think about it, say someone has autism and then they heard that, and then they thought of how in the past, when they tried talking to other people with autism, it's not, they felt, they don't feel understood at all. Do you see the harm in that? Oh yes, you could say autism is a spectrum. You could say that, yes. But also I find even that to be reductive. Let me explain why I think this way. So first off, the most reductive way to view autism, I think, is to view it as binary. So on or off, yes or no. Either you have autism or you don't. Quite reductive for obvious reasons. And a slightly less reductive version would be the spectrum. So on one end of the spectrum, no autism. The other one, autism. Less reductive, that is, but still, I find that to be profoundly reductive, as if, people have to kind of fit on this spectrum somewhere. It's a line. It's not a plane, nor is it like a 3D space. I find that to be really reductive still. And I guess those frameworks don't inherently have to be reductive, but just how they were used on me. The therapists they should have known better, in short. Clearly, I'm scared of hugs not because I was sexually abused, but because I have autism. Clearly, I have difficulties trusting people not because I was bullied, but because, I have autism. Clearly, I'm trying to have this moral awareness and responsibility and to think systematically, not because, I actually want to care, but because I have autism. So, goddamn autism. And when I try to explain to those therapists how I tried explaining to them how... one second. I tried explaining to them how trauma shaped a lot of what I have, and how it's not my fault. It really isn't my fault. But then they just try to like redirect me to, oh, look at the present. Just move on from the past. They didn't say that verbatim, but it sure feels like that. And the way they gently and yet undoubtedly imply and suggest that my views are irrational, it really, to me, feels like it's justifying of gaslighting and abuse. Yeah. Okay, this music isn't really what I'm feeling right now. Let me try to have something different that would let you perhaps hopefully feel what I feel a bit more. So what should it be then? Oh yes, I know what it is. We could have some Rachmaninoff playing here. So okay, I will stop the music, alright? Alright, let's get some Trio Elegiac. This is Trio Elegiac number 2 in D minor, opus 9. Okay. Oh, same thing as before. I'm gonna try to open the audio file and start playing the music, and then try to pause it as soon as possible, and then lower the volume. But still, it might get loud. So be prepared. In 3, 2, 1. Okay, I paused it. Let me lower the volume. Okay, I will play it, but still it might be a bit loud. Oh wait, I just realized why I'm so sensitive about volume. Oh yeah, I most definitely have sensory processing sensitivity. They commonly refer to that more as HSP, highly sensitive person. I might make some videos about that later. And talk about how it's not just a label of autism. It's not that. I know that autism gets stigmatized really a lot and shamed on, but that doesn't necessarily mean if there's something like HSP, it's necessarily an ableist label of autism, as they say on Reddit. Oh yeah, people on Reddit, many of them have some really, really, really interesting views. Yeah. I'm just kind of hoping that people could, do a bit more research and not spread misinformation without them thinking twice. I mean, yes, their feelings. Get it out. Why not? They of course, should be met with empathy. They should feel witnessed and heard. But I feel like it's not exactly that. There could be more responsible behavior, I think, than, just letting out their opinion, which could profoundly shape others' perceptions, which could consciously or unconsciously perpetuate this kind of shame and stigma about certain stuff, and spreading misinformation can, spread information, spread misinformation. It's self-referential thing I said. What I mean is, okay, let me try to give an example. Say we tell someone that, sexual abuse has to involve penetration. It's clearly is a misconception. If someone, without giving it a second thought, tells someone else that, sexual abuse has to involve penetration, just imagine how that would hurt victims and survivors of sexual abuse who are not actually, penetrated. And then they would think, oh, so that's, I'm not a victim. It's not sexual abuse. I'm only imagining things when I say I'm sexually abused. Oh, do you know, so many sexual abuse survivors and sexual assault survivors and victims, they weren't believed, not by the justice system, not by people around them, not even by their own friends, and it's horribly wrong. There are profound systemic issues. I believe that those people ultimately don't mean harm, or at least don't mean harm in the beginning when they don't think that it's sexual abuse, but just how it could propagate and perpetuate harm. That's not how it should be. So I try to say that it's not issues of those individuals I met. I try to say that there are more profound systemic issues. Instead of blaming those individuals, I think we should examine critically the system. It's only if we can shape society as a whole better that individuals within the society will change and shift. We don't change by pathologizing and reducing and accusing people of things. We change by changing the surroundings, the environments, to make people feel safe and heard and understood enough to make them feel they deserve love and care. Not just by simply telling them, oh, you deserve love and care. I find that to be hollow. But we should make people feel they deserve care and love. Make them feel it, not just tell them that intellectually. Suicide prevention helplines have not helped a whole lot, in my experience. And I was surprised and also relieved to find out that I'm not alone in that. That there are sadly many other people who have had similar misfortunes. There are people who I saw on Reddit about how they're transgender, and then when they talked about that, when they called suicide prevention helplines, the other person just, the listener just got quiet and then just hang up. I mean, can you believe that? And then some others just think that, just tell them, I think those people are well-intended when they talk about their abusers and fucking... I should like to think that those listeners and the therapists and all the other people mean well and don't mean harm, and that the reason they harm isn't because they are malicious, but rather because there are systemic issues that impact them unconsciously. And I believe that these issues, if made conscious and aware, can change eventually. I should like to think that humanity is by nature good, and that human beings by nature wish to connect and love and care and not hate and be numb and isolate themselves. It's hard to believe that. It's hard to believe that for me, I guess. But still. I guess I just really want to tell myself that, there can be hope. And it's not just darkness, even though it's all darkness I see. The music. I just realized, sorry, I still haven't played it. Okay. Actually, do I actually want to play... Actually, I want a bit of Prokofiev. So same thing as last time, I'm going to play it. It might be loud. Prepare yourself. 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, I paused it. I will lower the volume. I will play it again, but still it may be loud. Right, about volume, yeah. Why I'm so sensitive about volume? Apart from neurodivergence, it also has to do with both neurodivergence that's inherent, so like SPS, and neurodivergence that formed later on from complex trauma and abuse. But apart from neurodivergence, I mean, it also has to do with how my father, how he almost constantly plays music really, really loudly in the car. And when I asked if he could turn the volume down, he would turn it all the way up instead. And then, like, everything vibrates. My eardrums fucking... I should be swearing a bit less. Because I hope that people... I know I feel discomforted a lot when others swear. I know that when they swear, there's pain in their words beneath anger. But still, sometimes when they swear too much, my father swears all the time. That's why. But I just kind of hope that I wouldn't make others feel uncomfortable by swearing. And I was hoping that I could meet others with more gentleness and tenderness, hopefully, and make them feel like they could feel safe and feel like they deserve love. Anyway, music. I lowered the volume. I'm gonna try to play it. This one is by Prokofiev. It's his Piano Sonata number 6. I'm playing this in 3. So 3, 2, 1, go. Lowering the volume. Okay. Now let us talk about... No. Okay, let us get back on topic. Let's talk about what... I'm too absorbed into the music. I feel things too deeply. I'm just gonna help, Okay, sorry, I got distracted. Let me try to get back on the topic. On second thought, I really should try to organize my thoughts a bit better. Maybe I could write a structured essay. I am capable of that. I am really scared that I'm not doing good enough, it seems. That's why I said I'm capable enough. But the point is, I could do that. Just, I feel emotionally drained really a lot. And I'm not prepared for that, to write essays. I mean, there's this friend of mine that says I could help a lot of people. You know what, maybe I should talk about her, because I kind of want to get that off my chest. This music isn't very peaceful, I think. You can probably feel that. You can tell. I trust you can tell. I'm feeling turmoil within. Turmoil that I couldn't repress. It severely disturbs me. Okay, I apologize for feeling emotionally drained because of the harm I received, not just from individuals, but also from institutions. I apologize for not having enough energy to criticize systematically the systems of oppression, for not being able to stand up as the feminist I am, for not being able to stand up against abuse, not just abuse I experienced, but also abuse that others had misfortune to go through. I'm sorry for not being good enough. I'm sorry for not having such acute moral responsibility exemplified in my actions via contributions to our society by criticizing, by proposing the theories that could help shape the systems better, to mitigate institutional harm, to make people feel heard and understood and feel like they're not alone when they feel like therapy doesn't help. Well, actually, you know what? About therapy, yeah, I'm quite strained right now. I couldn't continue my trains of thoughts, but... Oh, sorry, the music is a bit loud. I apologize, I should have lowered the volume much earlier. Okay, about how therapy doesn't really help. I couldn't really try to explain this now, even though I think I have theories about what it is. But I could, however, point you towards a short video that I find rather humorous and quite sad as well on this topic about how therapy might not help, and then hopefully you would feel lighthearted and feel that you feel heard and witnessed and understood, and feel like you're not alone, and feel like you're not delusional. Okay, this video is called The Suicide, award-winning short film 2025. Okay, I will make a link to it in the video description if I remember. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, check it out, I guess, if you didn't really feel helped by therapy. You're not being delusional. There are really deep systemic issues in this. If people tell you to, just look for another therapist, find a match, they are not seeing the deeper patterns here. It's not just a personality mismatch. It's not just that. If people don't engage with their thoughts and try to reduce everything into defense mechanism and coping mechanism and all those BS, they should really have known better, you know? Your thoughts deserve to be treated with seriousness. Your voice deserves to be heard, truly heard, attentively, not just diplomatically, not just like how do you pronounce it? Formulaically. Your voice deserves to be heard, not just formulaically, but also truly, genuinely, attentively, with true care and concern and consideration for your dignity and autonomy and all that. Because you're a complete human being. Just how cruel it is to treat someone like that as if they're just a number in the system. There's some statistics, just a test subject, just a patient that's all delusional and all, I don't know, needing fixing. It's messed up. Okay, but anyway, yeah, I will link the shorts to that video in the description. Maybe let's link another video as well. It's Boys Don't Cry. It has to do with gender equality and how society pathologizes sensitivity in boys and men, and how I believe that masculinity doesn't have to be portrayed as this toxic, aggressive, and emotionally disconnected one. Men could love too. Obviously. Okay, but anyway, hopefully linking those videos would pique your interest and you would check. Maybe you would share them with others, and hopefully there will be more societal awareness about these stuff. We can only change things when we are aware of those, you know? We don't stand much a chance on our own. We need to unite and not isolate. I really am tired. Anyway, if you're watching this far, I mean, thank you. I mean, apparently I don't think anyone's gonna watch this, but if you someone actually sees this, thank you. And I really wish you felt that you felt witnessed and felt that you're not alone in what you experience. Oh, you could leave a comment or something like sharing their experience. If you're really alone and couldn't feel like heard anywhere, you could leave a comment. I would try to respond to you and try to meet you where you are. Hopefully with care and compassion. I'll try my best. I feel like probably nobody's gonna be watching this, so even if I get comments, it's probably just gonna be a few, or probably no comment at all. So I should be able to handle, like, you know, whoever comes and needs support and compassion. Wait, when did I take off my hat? I forgot. Anyway, I guess I will end this here. In case I don't see ya, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.